Welcome, Catabon. We just finished reading a very, let's just say, a little bit of a naughty little program that wanted to have a human body. We just read 2. We spent 2 hours on reading 2 SCPs. So we have, and that means we still have a lot to go. We have our author now is called Megalon. No link. And the title of the SCP is called the Conflagration. The Conflagration. Oh, okay. It is my duty to warn mechanic. There's a snake. I will read the special containment procedures as fast as possible and then scroll past the snake. Be ready, mechanic. I give you 5 seconds before I click on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. Caught specimens of SCP-3102 are to be contained in Unit 39 of BIOS Site 66. There's 3 SCP-3102 specimens are allowed per enclosure. That's what I want to say, not 5. Enclosure dimensions must measure 2.0 meters by 1.4 meters. I did shout out the offer. I said Megalon, yeah. Enclosure walls must be composed of thermal resistant glass, ceramic, and lids must have a fire resistant wire mesh. A UV lamp is to be placed over the left side of the enclosure, and one single day lamp is to be placed over the opposite side. SCP-3102 is a diurnal species, and lamps are automated to switch off during the nighttime hours. Enclosure walls and lamps are to be routinely inspected. And here you go. Snake is gone. In order to minimize risk of anomalous behavior, specimens enclosures must mimic. Now I got a fucking itch, bro. Must mimic the natural habitats. Dry soil and aspen shavings will consist as enclosure substrate. Oh, I actually should check on my girl. She's not feeling so hot today. Let me just quickly check. I will answer her after this one. Alright. Specimen require a little water, but must have a water bowl for soaking. Habitat props are to be painted in fire-resistant coating. Each specimen is to be fed 2 rats weekly at 800 hours. Specimens enclosures must be cleaned daily at 1,800 hours. Or is it like 1,800 hours, right? Yeah. In the event of a specimen combustion, inert gases will automatically flood the enclosure to incapacitate the specimen. Once fire is out, specimens are to be relocated and enclosure must be salvaged. All personnel must wear fire retardant suits when tending for SCP-3102. One station guard will prevent any unauthorized access to Unit 39. Bearing any flammable material while inside Unit 39 is strictly prohibited. Personnel found infringing this directive are to be severely reprimanded. Personnel who wish to bear documentation must file a request to Site Director. In the case of a containment breach, Unit 39 will begin lockdown procedures. Each sensors will seal doorways in the event of a fire and dispense inert gases to incapacitate SCP-3102 instances. Cleanup crews will be dispatched to remove scorch marks and fires, as well as recapturing any torpid SCP-3102 specimens. Description: SCP-3102 is an unidentified species of non-venomous tertiary serpents that are closely related to members of the genus Pitophis. SCP-3102 is endemic to the North American prairies and Chihuahuan Desert. Total species population is believed to number near the high hundreds and is increasing at a steady rate. Footnote: population is theorized to double within 50 years. Specimens can grow up to 2 meters in length and 3.5 kilograms in weight. Big fuckers. SCP-3102 diet consists of small rodents and reptiles, including other serpents. Only 4 Foundation specimens have displayed what the fuck is this word? Ophiophagy. Ophiophagy? What? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna scroll down here and actually copy and paste this because I want to know how the hell that's supposed to be pronounced. Okay.
Ophiophagy.
Ophiophagy! Why did it say like that? Ophiophagy. Okay. I'm not sure if there's like that doesn't sound like anywhere near correct. Specimens are normally docile in nature and typically ignore nearby humans. Caution is still advised when dealing with SCP-3102 due to the risk of its anomalous properties. Unusually, SCP-3102 is partially endothermic, while internal temperatures do fluctuate like other ectotherms. SCP-3102 is able to increase its own body temperature at will. This comes at the cost of higher energy demands, and thus specimens have more ravenous appetite. Specimens' scales are notably durable, resisting acidic solution in high temperatures. Specimens are highly social creatures. SCP-3102 can be usually found in colonies or traveling in packs. Specimens are also highly protective of their young and will remain close to any juvenile serpents. At the time of writing, 36 specimens are in current Foundation care. Okay, I know the thumbnail idea. Yeah, simple. When threatened, agitated, or heavily stressed, SCP-3102 will burst into flames. Specimens but like I want like it would be funny if it's like it bursts into flames as a defense mechanism, but then it just dies. It's like a defense mechanism that like, you should not supposed to use. Kind of like how the bee's stinger is not supposed to be used because then the bee dies. It's like a I'll do damage to you, but I'll perish in war. Specimen scales will ignite violently and remain burning. With temperatures exceeding 300 degrees Celsius, that is fucking hot. The ignition mechanism that SCP-3102 employs is currently unknown at this time. The first poses no bodily danger to SCP-3102, but it consumes large quantities of energy, and specimens can only exist in this state for a limited time. Depending on the size of specimens and its level of stress, the ignition state of SCP-3102 can last from 45 seconds to 5 minutes long. Upon the conclusion of the ignition state, SCP-3102 will become lethargic and incapable of ignition for several days. Specimens of SCP-3102 will also experience behavioral changes upon ignition. While in flames, SCP-3102 becomes extremely aggressive and actively pursues any moving organisms in the vicinity. SCP-3102 will then constrict and bind the victims tightly, setting the target alight. Wow. They wrap around you, just be like, it's about to get hot. Testing has shown that SCP-3102 prefers attacking larger organisms to smaller ones and will chase their quarry with speeds of up to 9 kilometers per hour. Good, I'm faster than that. I think my top speed sprinting is definitely like close to 30 kilometers per hour. Upon coming into contact with an appendage, SCP-3102, I think, because like on the machine, the top speed is 20 kilometers per hour that you can set in, and I can easily sprint that. And I still like, you know, have to like slow down because otherwise I'll hit the machine's like thing. So I would argue between like 25 to 30 kilometers per hour is my top speed. So if that snake were to try to chase me, I can outrun it. SCP-3102 will wind itself around the limb and tightly constrict. SCP-3102 will also anchor itself into the flesh of its victims via its teeth in order to maximize damage potential. Victims of these attacks will receive 4th-degree burns. Yeah, fucking makes sense. And chances of survival are low without immediate amputation. If 2 or more specimens enter ignition state simultaneously, they will act in a highly coordinated manner. Specimens will strategically corner victims, attack different limbs simultaneously, and create fiery blockades to hurt their prey. In addition, specimens have a tendency to congregate when indoors. Specimens will wind their bodies tightly around each other, increasing pressure and surface area, thus making their flames harder and longer lasting. Specimens use this method to quickly burn down structures or in some cases create a defensive position. Incident Log A. On December 8, 2017, National Park was hit by a rampaging wildfire that annihilated over 564 hectares of forestry. The resulting inferno destroyed 16 structures over the course of its rampage, and 18 casualties occurred. In combination, yeah, I mean, I can imagine if those snakes were in the wildlife and they catch on fire when they get threatened, that whole forest is gone. The resulting inferno destroyed 16 structures over the course of its rampage, and 18 casualties occurred. In combination with favorable weather conditions and a rapid response time, firefighters easily contained the blaze and subdued the forest fire after 4 days. County investigation began shortly after due to suspected foul play. Point of origin was determined to have occurred near Happy Pines Camp, popular camping ground for tourists. Foundation officials were alerted once emergency chatter mentioned that several witnesses claimed to have seen fiery snakes chase after fleeing animals. That would actually be freaky to see though. Foundation agents were dispatched under the guise of emergency officials in order to find any traces of anomalous phenomena. 9 specimens of SCP-3102 were discovered near Happy Pines, attempting to make a nest in the area. Specimens were captured and shipped to Biosite 66. Inspection of specimens revealed that they had not been fed for several weeks. After interviewing several key witnesses, Class A amnestics were administered and the fire was publicized as a result of malfunctioning pressure cooker. Picture of fire 8th A 2017. Interview log A Julia Deborah, access log. Interview with a witness who claimed to have seen SCP-3102 at the fire's point of origin. Interview conducted at police department under the guise of a police interrogation. Twelfth 8th 2017. Julia Deborah, Agent Sheena. By the way, guys, this is like my absolute favorite iced tea. Like, yeah, Master Kong lemon iced tea. It's just, I have an Asian store near my place, and they have like a 2-liter bottle of this with like a handle, so you can actually like grab the bottle like that. I appreciate that a lot. It's my favorite iced tea for sure. Also, it's just the packaging looks cool. Like, it's just the way it looks. It's just pretty dope as well. Begin log. Ma'am, calm down. We're trying to help. You just need to understand what caused this wildfire and... Please, don't do this to me. I've told you everything I know. Why won't anyone believe me? Also, I need to, like, clean my glasses. I've already told the other officers and they just gave me that look that the one they give to the crazies. They almost think I'm a nutcase or something, but I'm not insane. This one is, okay, I will quickly answer. This one is called, Master Kong Lemon Iced Tea. I will send Sippy a picture. Actually, I don't have my phone with me, but I'll send her a picture. It's very good iced tea. But it's also definitely more on the sweeter side. That's for sure. There we go. They almost think I'm a nutcase or something, but I'm not insane. I'm not. I promise you. It was the snakes. They did it. All of it. Everything just went up in flames in seconds. Ma'am, again, please calm down. We are considering your account. I just need to interview you because our reports are missing some key information that could help us in our case. Alright, I'm not really sure what else I could say. Could you please start from the beginning? It was early in the morning when it happened. I had to leave my cabin to get something out of my car. When I see this man near the center of the campground struggling with his ice cooler. I didn't really get a good look on his face. That's why I've told the other officers. But it was the strangest thing. He wore this blue sweatshirt that was stained with these enormous soot marks. He looked like he was homeless. Anyway, the man was struggling with the cooler, so I yelled to him from my porch if he needed some help with the thing. What did he say? Didn't say anything. Just snapped his head towards me like I caught him smuggling drugs or something. I thought he would go jump on me. He was just staring at me silently, all bug-eyed. Next thing I know, he is lifting the cooler over his head and just chucks it onto the ground. The top comes off and then the snakes. Those awful snakes. This is just mechanic as a woman. As a human woman, this is mechanic right here. Those awful snakes, they just came slitting out of the box, and I don't even understand it myself. But they were on fire. I assumed that the guy must have set them alight, but the way they were moving, it was as if they didn't feel a thing. What happened to the suspect once the snakes were released? Oh, he just ran off into the woods. I didn't really get a good look. I think he went east. The snakes, though, they just sat there. The grass around them was already burning, and then... Go on. You can call me crazy. You can call me all sorts of things. But those snakes saw me. They all did. They raised those black heads of theirs, every single one pointing in my direction. They just charged right at me. I didn't even think they could move that fast. So I ran back into my cabin, and I slammed the door closed. I don't really know what happened after. I was too scared to peek out of my window. I heard the sounds, I smelled the smoke. Those snakes were burning everything around them. The heat was growing by the minute. People started noticing the fire. I could hear voices yelling and shrieking, "Fire!" at the top of their lungs. Footsteps stampeding all around. It was a complete pandemonium. How did you make it out with the serpent still in the area? The fire was growing larger and nearer. I could feel the heat coming from behind the door. I realized that the fire was about to overtake my cabin, so I figured I had better chances outside. I broke a window in the bathroom using a chair and crawled through it. Cut my wrist pretty badly while I was climbing out. And my god, I never realized just how quickly a fire can spread. It felt like I stepped out in the middle of an apocalypse. Trees, bushes, and even some camper vans were on fire. Charred leaves were falling out of the sky. People were fleeing into the woods, into the cars, panicking as if the whole world was about to end. I even saw some snakes chase after a couple. I hope they made it. Anyway, I ran for my car and just drove away from the madness. And that's it. I wish I would say more, but that's all I remember. Can you recall how many snakes were set loose? No, I didn't bother getting a close look, sorry. That's understandable. Well, thank you, ma'am. We'll start searching the area once it's been deemed secure. And officer, please find that man. I don't know what was wrong with those snakes, but that man purposely set them loose. He wanted to hurt people, to scare them. This fire was not an accident. If he won't get caught, I promise you he'll do it again. And look, yeah, I'm actually curious who the guy was. Who the fuck was like in the forest was like, yeah, you know, just like me. Come on now. You okay there? Do you need some help? Snakes! Snakes everywhere. Like, who was that guy? Addendum A. Foundation sweeps eventually discovered a man sleeping in a cabin near... There he... Sees him! Just fucking tackle. Discovered a man sleeping in a cabin near the fire's point of origin. Suspect was covered in various burns and suspect's clothing matched Miss Debre's description. Upon approaching, the suspect awoke and proceeded to attack Foundation agents with a piece of cinder. Suspect was easily overtaken, sustaining multiple fractures in the wrist, and detained. Interrogation log of suspect can be found below. Oh, we gonna learn today. We're gonna learn today what the hell he was thinking. Search of suspect's camp and personnel. Personal possession showed that suspect has been living inside the cabin for an extended period of time. It's fucking. I'm guessing the cabin is some sort of like entrance to hell, and he was just like, yeah, I just got some snakes from hell, man, and then decided to just like, woo, let them free, let them be free. And the next thing you know, fire. While surveying the camp, 2 SCP-3102 specimens were stalled by Foundation agents and entered the ignition state. Agent Mag and Schufman are currently in critical condition. Thank you for the bless use. Interview log -B. Tyson H. Level 2 access required. Enter credentials. Okay, motherfucker. You now you're gonna tell us. Interview a suspect in possession of SCP-3102. Release aggressive specimens into the general public. Interview is conducted in Size 66. Suspect is 32 years old, Caucasian, blue-eyed, and black-haired. Suspect is currently unemployed. Previous occupations listed as a regional sales manager. Suspect has no current address. Suspect has no known relatives, excluding an estranged wife. Okay. 15th, 8th, 2017. Tyson H. Interviewer Dr. Markov. Okay. Please state your name for the record.
We don't have to use such needless formalities like those. They influence spite and vanity. They bring cold light into the air. I beg of you, show more warmth, else we freeze in the morning shadow.
Oh, great.
It's simple. We kill the Batman.
It's in your best interest to comply with our instructions, or else you'll be indefinitely detained in our facility. There are worse things that could happen other than simply stating your name.
It's Tyson. Tyson.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Can you tell me how you first managed to acquire SCP-3102?
You mean the snakes? Why, you're mistaken. I didn't find them. They found me. When I thought that all hope was extinguished, when darkness swallowed up my very life, those friends of mine gave me an understanding and enlightenment. Their fire pushed away the darkness from my heart and gave me a clandestine light to follow.
Can you please elaborate?
Well, we all had these moments when everything just doesn't quite work out. When life seems to treat you like you're not destined to have a happy fortune. And for many people, their problems can't just completely overwhelm their lives. One minute you're the cream of the crop, loving what life has to offer. The next moment your boss fires you over some younger, or someone younger. Your wife leaves you for her lover. And those bills keep coming until you finally snap and...
Right, let's just focus on the snakes. Where did you first discover them?
But I've already told you, man. I didn't find them. They found me first. Those smoldering beauties decided to create a small den next to my home. Almost burned down my camper van. It was only fate that brought us together. You see, when I first stumbled upon the nest, oh man, they were pissed. Those little imps just blew up. I was terrified. I thought I was a goner, man. But it was only by their blessing I was left unharmed.
The specimens did not attack you?
No. Instead, they growled in the recent grass, setting the cattails alight and winding their bodies into incomprehensible knots and shapes. But not a single one touched me, nor my camper. It was through their searing chaos, their scalding madness, Like they gave me an idea, an epiphany.
And what was this epiphany?
The world was designed to be burned away. Some man just want to watch the world burn. You and me, we're both intellectuals, man. We understand that as people, as humans, we must adapt in every changing world. In this world, there's just so much clutter, so much trash, so much anger. It hides the gorgeousness from within. Beauty is only skin deep, as they say. And those snakes, they're God sent. Mother Earth has thrown us its lightning into the bottle. A consumable nirvana. They can burn away all those negative emotions, those unclean thoughts and deeds that corrupt our world in rot.
Why did you release SCP-3102 into the campgrounds?
It was only for their benefit. And
education educatory, is that how you say it? No.
Education.
I know. Oh, fucking hell, no. I know what educate. Is that another word? Did he just make that up?
Educatory.
Educatory, yeah.
Educatory.
Yeah, that's how I said it. Educatory
experience. I know that fire burned down those beautiful trees and log houses, but you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. Those people, those down-to-earth people, they've been blinded by the dregs of society, and we showed them that they can leave everything behind. That you can leave amongst the embers. We could have made the smell, the ashes, and accept a brighter future.
2 of our men lost their legs because of it.
But they are now educated. They will recognize the Earth's faults and crevices the way I had to come realize as well. Those snakes are extraordinary, man. Each of them focused on their sole mission, to fan the flames. I only want to show them a different path. That without pain, there is no flame.
I'm not sure I understand. Okay, hold on.
Understand, you stupid man. There's plenty to understand. There's so much more to learn. We, as humans, are unbound by the fire, unshackled by the flame, and unraveled by the conflagration. We can burn everything away and begin anew from a fresh slate. We can populate the world with storms and infernos. They will have beautiful shades of orange and red, and these snakes are kindling. Our tinder to bring about a new golden age. I can help you to understand. Unbound by the fire, unshackled by the flame. And together, we'll rise in... Oh God.
Mr. A. Something's wrong. I'm not feeling too hot. There's something... End log. Suspect begins clutching his chest, vocalizing pain and discomfort. Ah! Dr. Markov requests medical assistance into the room, and suddenly suspect lurches back into his chair. Suspect begins foaming at the mouth, shaking violently, and smoke begins to rise from his orifices. Markov backs into the corner of the room, yelling for urgent medical aid. As suspect keels over and retches under the table, specimens of SCP-3102 burst from the suspect's mouth, already in the ignition state, and proceed to attack Dr. Markov. Security runs into the room and begins fending off the serpents. Suspect is shot in the ensuing chaos. One SCP-3102 specimen managed to latch onto Dr. Markov's legs, and flames soon cover the panicking doctor. Attempts to pry off the snakes are met with little success. Snake leaves the ignition state after a minute and is successfully removed. After extinguishing the fire, Dr. Markov is subsequently rushed to medical bay. 5 specimens of SCP-3102 were retrieved and placed into containment. Over 64% of Dr. Markov's body received third-degree burns, and Dr. Markov's legs required extensive amputation. Oh, fucking hell, dude. Dr. Markov is currently undergoing physical therapy and rehabilitation. Autopsy of Tyson H. has revealed that the suspect's gallbladder had been eaten away and replaced with enormous cocoons. Reaching the cocoon revealed several SCP-3102 eggs along with a deceased juvenile specimen. At the time of writing, it is unknown how SCP-3102 managed to infiltrate the body, nor as to why a colony was formed inside. Research into potential parasitic properties of SCP-3102 is still ongoing. going. What a wild one. What a crazy one. Snakes that catch on fire. Jesus. And then we have, of course, as I think I saw the famous snake arsonist. Yeah, I think that's like literally it, right? That's the best way to describe this person. Fucking insane. Mechanic, no, thank you. No, please. There's nothing. Snakes are cool animals, but this one I also would be like, no thanks. Like it's a Pokemon gone haywire. It's a Pokemon that is unhinged. Too dangerous. But also like the fact that it actually like grew out of his body. Ugh. So I assume because he was in a cave and they found him in the cave asleep and there were 2 snakes nearby, they somehow must have implanted him with like the eggs. Maybe. Potentially. They are cool animals. Every animal, like absolutely, like I will stand by it. The snakes are actually like really cool because first of all, the fact that they get anything done without legs or arms is already impressive enough. That's already like more than what most of us can say. But okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get my phone because I'm gonna send Sippy a picture of the IC here. Snakes on its own are enough to avoid. That's fair. That's fair. Like, I'm not saying that I want a snake in my house, but I just personally think snakes are cool. I mean, the same thing, like, same way I think sharks are cool. Like, I respect sharks, but I don't want to swim with one. But they're still, like, impressive animals. Alright, guys, I'll be right back. Give me a hot minute.